really like how Ampu say it's galactic activation. Why do we need to activate galactically? Because we're about to become conscious members of the Galactic Federation, right? So how can you join what's a federation? A federation is a collective of sovereign states that come together for collective security, collective prosperity, correct? So how can I federate with other sovereign states if I myself am not sovereign? If I'm under the dominion of a next one, it doesn't work that way. So a part of us ascending to the state of being a part of the Galactic Federation involves the dismantling of the forces on her Earth that is denying everyone indigenous sovereignty. Okay? And I'm going to show through the messages of the crop circle that that's their message. That's what they're showing us, that that's their intention. Okay? So I want to pause from this. And I want to go to, I'm going to show you a couple of compilations. The first one is just, and I'm not going to run it all the way through, just for you enough to see some key footage. This is showing a lot of the, what they call UFO activity that's been jumping off since 2010. It's been this from 2010 and 2011. So I'm going to show you some of that. Then I'm going to show you footage of just something that's been jumping off since 2011.
A UFO in China's skies forced Zhoushan Airport to stop operations on July 7th. Outbound flights were grounded after the unidentified flying object was detected by a flight crew. The incident has captured the attention of Chinese media. Theories about the UFO's identity are burning up on the internet as well. They include everything from a hidden U.S. bomber to an elaborate man-made hoax. For now, the UFO continues to be a mystery. A spokesman from China's Civil Aviation Administration confirmed to ABC News that the matter is under investigation.
Some Chinese residents are on edge this morning after another apparent UFO sighting. It's the second one in 2 weeks. The first sighting was on July 7th, and an airport had to be shut down.
All right, that's a UFO if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, can you identify
That's undeniable.
The airport had to be shut down after people apparently saw twinkling lights above the airport terminal. 17 flights had to be diverted. The latest sighting happened just 2 days ago, and people say they saw 4 lantern-like objects forming a diamond shape in the air, hovering in the sky for over an hour. And aviation experts say they don't know what it was. It wasn't a plane.
Scientists from all over the world are trying to figure out what caused the mysterious blue light to spiral in the sky over Norway on Wednesday.
As UFO sightings go, this one was as good or as weird as it gets.
A light appearing high in the Arctic sky, baffling those who saw it and exciting a lot of comment. Early yesterday morning, just before dawn, this appeared in the Norwegian sky. A blue light, small at first, growing into a spiral, and then disappearing into what appeared to be a black hole. In the northern community of Trøndelag and on a Norwegian military base, cell phones snapped, video cameras rolled, and bloggers got busy.
Tonight, Norwegian authorities are investigating strange lights seen in the Arctic sky. The spiraling white light was seen for several minutes Wednesday morning. Locals say the light appeared to be bigger than the moon. Thousands of Norwegians bombarded the Meteorological Institute to ask what that light could have possibly been. Some feared it could have been a meteor, others a black hole, and there are even those that thought it could be aliens.
A strange spiralling white light was spotted in the early morning sky over Sydney, with even sceptical witnesses wondering if it was a UFO. The unusual sight was recorded by hundreds of people from Victoria north to Queensland. A spiral in the sky around a bright light.
Scientists left baffled by an unexplained circular light seen hovering high over Moscow Wednesday evening. People described seeing a wide circular formation in the sky. Footage capturing the spectacle will help whether scientists and specialists find an explanation for the event.
What was in the skies over Jerusalem?
Very significant.
And why did it stop over one of the most treasured sites in Christianity?
It occurred
There's a new video this morning that some say may be proof for not alone in the universe. A UFO in the form of a bright light is seen descending over the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. The video was said to be taken over the weekend. Then suddenly the light shoots up into the sky. You see it. Another video from a different angle appears to show the light doing the same thing.
Remember that
now it is sparking intense debate on the internet. Chris Gallagher following this live from our West Coast News. So the question is, what was that UFO? What was it doing over Jerusalem? And, you know, is he back?
Yeah, and that is the question, by the way, Megan, because, you know, critics, it's difficult for them to dismiss this because there are so many different angles. We've got 4 different videos, all from various perspectives, but they do not know of anything like this in the Israeli army.
All right, because listen, I don't like to be scared. I just can't take it. It's, you know, I don't know what it is.
Well, I wish I could give you an answer to this bizarre sighting. I really can't, but I can tell you that earlier today, there were dozens and dozens of people right here on 23rd and 8th. They were standing right here, and they were all in a stupor, just crowded together, looking into the sky.
Well, a lot of people are looking up. It's because of a mystery in the sky. Is it a balloon, a UFO? Whatever it is, it sure has a lot of people talking. Eyewitness News reporter Jeff McGase is live in Chelsea, where crowds have gathered. Jeff, what's this all about?
Well, Sade, we don't know.
I don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, look, let's begin by finding out whether you're using this line properly or not.
Area 51.
Yeah, that's right. Were you an employee or are you now?
A former employee.
Former employee.
I was let go on a medical discharge about a week ago, and I've kind of been running across the country. Oh man, I don't know where to start. They're gonna they'll triangulate on this position really soon.
So you can't spend a lot of time on the phone. So give us something quick.
Okay. Okay. What we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra-dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now aren't.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want the major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable.
Discharge.
I started getting...
In some way, something knocked us off the air, and we're on a backup system now.
It's the government, or...
I don't know.
It has to be something, though.
Well, did you hear... Now, you tell me, because you were listening.
That was awful strange.
There was a really weird guy on the air when it went off?
Yeah. Real weird out.
Like, going... Sort of sounding paranoid, schizophrenic?
Like crying and everything.
Yeah. And how far into the conversation was it when it went off?
Just a couple, about 15, 20 seconds, I'd say.
Oh, you guys missed... You really missed a call then, man. I've got a feeling somebody didn't want you to hear it.
Yeah. Because it was really strange. All of a sudden, I'm hearing Mark Furman, and when
All right, well, the network, of course, went immediately to a backup tape while we tried to figure out what blew up here. The transmitter went out to what you heard suddenly, for some unknown reason. I've never seen it do this in all the years that we've been on the air. I have never seen the transmitter in this way just simply fail, massively fail, like a massive heart attack or something kind.
Pause this one at this one. We're going to go to the next one. This one is all about 2011. All the sightings in this one.
Did you happen to look up into the nighttime skies over the weekend? Did you see anything strange? Many of our viewers did. Some even caught the glowing orbs on tape.
Glowing orbs flowing high in the air.
Thousands of people saw these 4 mysterious lights in the sky outside Phoenix Monday night, a UFO. The United States Air Force said it could not identify them. Air traffic controllers from 2 different airports say they saw the lights, but they definitely were not from any of their airplanes.
Above the skies of Northeast and East El Paso tonight, a sight that was a little more than stunning. This is what one of our photographers, Ram Moreno, caught on video. One solitary light that appears to be falling in the sky. But that light suddenly breaks apart into 2, then 3 separate lights. Those lights then just freeze in the air and begin to hover.
This is the weird, unsettling sight Paul, a longtime pilot, captured on tape. Mysterious red lights in a diagonal formation, just hovering above his yard in Whippany.
Strange lights over the skies of San Diego.
Strange lights over Lake Erie.
Over Phoenix, Arizona. A group of unidentified flying objects in the sky over Manhattan.
UFOs were kind of flying over Chicago.
This is just a great mystery. What is this in the East Texas sky?
The same orbs have been spotted in London, Mexico, Canada, California, and Texas.
So this is something that's in the sky that people do not know what it is.
Look, 7 News at 5:30. A strange sighting above Boulder County a week ago. 3 lights in the night sky. The folks who saw them are asking, what the fuck?
What the hell?
We got a lot of young people in
What in the world is this?
I have no idea what the hell that is. And I'm about to ship my
Yes, it certainly seems to be an interesting way
And
of
it's that
doing things.
Check this out. The 3 lights are close to each other, then spread out into this triangle pattern. Now, look at the patterns side by side. This from Manhattan and the other tonight in El Paso. I gotta tell you, they do look eerily similar.
If it looks familiar, it should. Remember the Phoenix lights from the late 90s? Thousands saw the triangular glow in the night sky. The military said they were flares. Many are still skeptical.
Could these lights have been flares dropped from planes, which some say explains the Phoenix phenomenon? But flares fall
from the sky, and these did not, as you saw, so the mystery continues.
There's no way that's flares. My brother said it's flares. Now it just pops up out of nowhere.
Okay, in my opinion, there's no way it could be some type of flare. It had to be something other because, like I say, it was they stayed in one area, they didn't drift off, and they made very specific formations.
Just that they looked like very in a formation, that they had a purpose.
Strange red lights, brighter than a star, moving slowly in a triangular shape closer and closer.
This triangle shape, that just looks kind of weird.
In perfect triangle form, that's when you're like, wow, what is this thing?
So when you say they were in formation, okay, we're watching some video now. I don't know if you can see it, but they kind of move apart and then they kind of come back together. What did you think when you saw this?
Extraterrestrials?
No doubt about it.
No doubt about it.
And I suspect that unless the Defense Department proves us otherwise, that it was probably some form of an alien spacecraft.
Skeptics say there must be a perfectly good explanation, one that doesn't involve little green men.
Could be an airplane making a turn.
Nigga, those is not airplanes.
Could be a meteor. We love meteors.
Wait a minute. It's not a shooting star because it slowed down.
Could be sea monkeys, which are brine shrimp, shot in the right light and superimposed on the blue sky with the shaky thing.
I don't see how that would explain it exactly, but...
It's just quite a step to say there was a film with remarkable images on it. It's quite a step from there to say it was definitely a spacecraft from another civilization.
That's quite a step. You bet it's quite a step.
You know, any reasonable mind would have to say there's something fantastic going on here. The universe is vast because if you take, you know, the 200 billion suns just in this little Milky Way galaxy with planets evolving around them, and then you add that the 500 billion galaxies that are just like this one out there, it's so vast and it's inhabited, and there's beings that are thousands, millions, even billions of years ahead of us.
Bill believes the latest mystery lights over Lake Erie are from a higher power, a benevolent entity that for some reason is making more frequent visits to our area.
Does it scare you at all?
A little bit, but I mean, I'm a little optimistic. If it's something beneficial for us, then I am very excited, and who knows what it'll be.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. Why don't these aliens just show up for everyone to see? Go ahead, park your spaceship right in front of our 19 Action News studios here, and I will personally hand any little green man this microphone. Seriously, enough with the appearances on home video shot by a select few. Hill has an answer for that.
We couldn't have the outcome that I believe they intend, which is for us to become a galactic society and a peaceful society.
The way he sees it, the alien appearances are as beautiful as they are peaceful. And a sudden visit would be as traumatic to us as 9/11, like a terrorist attack. But he says time will reveal all truth.
They will. They will.
What'd you think those red lights were?
Aliens?
Really?
I think y'all got it from that one. Now, so if y'all notice, most of the sightings that was covered in those news accounts were orbs. And that's what accounts for like 90% of the sightings that has been going on. And it is definitely, the orbs are definitely accounting for this dramatic increase. All right? His brother named Aini Musan. He's a Mexican UFOologist. All right? He was one of the key UFOologists that the Minister Farrakhan invited up this past Savior's Day to speak. But he has, if you search for him on YouTube, he has a news clip. It's titled 250% UFO sighting increase in the USA, where they go state by state and show how many UFO sightings were reported, you know, in 1 month and 1 year, and they compare it to 2011. And on average, some states it's 1,000% increase, you know. But on average in the U.S., it's a 250% increase of UFOs in 2011. UFO reported sightings.
Este reporte con Fernando Correa.
En septiembre del 2011 se dio a conocer en numerosos medios de comunicación del mundo que en los Estados Unidos la actividad ovni durante agosto del 2011 aumentó hasta en un 200%. De acuerdo a un informe de Clifford Clift, director de la MUFON, la Red Mutua de Investigación OVNI, los reportes de los no identificados se han incrementado considerablemente. Observe con atención estos encabezados en donde diversos medios de comunicación presentaron la noticia del aumento de la actividad extraterrestre, una actividad de otras inteligencias que ya no puede ser ocultada. En cada ocasión son más los medios de comunicación que le dan cobertura a esta nueva realidad. Otras inteligencias están visitando cada vez con más frecuencia nuestro planeta. Incluso existen encabezados que por el incremento considerable de la actividad ovni formulan la siguiente pregunta: ¿es inminente una invasión extraterrestre? Clifford Clift señaló que cada año solo en los Estados Unidos durante agosto en promedio se reportan hasta 500 avistamientos de ovnis y que durante agosto del 2011 este número creció a 1.013 avistamientos, que es más del doble que durante los años anteriores. Los números son contundentes y demuestran que efectivamente durante el verano del 2011 los reportes de objetos no identificados en los Estados Unidos aumentaron dramáticamente. Aquí los números que lo demuestran. Observe con atención las siguientes estadísticas presentadas por Roger Marsh, investigador de Examiner UFO. En el estado de California, entre enero y julio del 2011, se reportaron 50 avistamientos. En comparación, solo en el mes de agosto del 2011 ocurrieron 127 avistamientos. En California, en el mes de agosto del 2011, la actividad de los no identificados aumentó hasta en un 250%. En el estado de Nueva York, durante los primeros 7 meses del año 2011 ocurrieron 12 avistamientos. Y durante agosto del 2011 se reportaron 46 ovnis, cifra que aumentó en un 293%. En Texas, de enero a julio del 2011, 28 avistamientos.
What for? There was 4? What the fuck?
Y solo durante agosto del 2011 se reportaron 59 no identificados. En Texas, la actividad ovni aumentó en un 106%. Y así ocurrió en otros estados de la Unión Americana. Refiriéndonos al mes de agosto de 2011, en el estado de Colorado, el aumento de ovnis alcanzó un 194%. En el estado de Florida, el incremento registrado en los reportes ovni fue del 233%. En el estado de Michigan se cuantifica un aumento de 175%. En el estado de Ohio, el número de reportes ovni creció al 236%. En el estado de Missouri, el número de avistamientos aumentó hasta un 290%. Y en el estado de Connecticut, mientras en los primeros 7 meses del 2011 se reportaron 3 avistamientos, tan solo en agosto del 2011 se han reportado 38 ovnis. En Connecticut, la actividad de los ovnis aumentó en más del 1000%. Y durante septiembre del 2011, los 10 estados con mayor actividad ovni son, en primer lugar, el estado de California, luego Texas, Michigan, Nueva York, Florida, Missouri, Ohio, Colorado y en 10º lugar, Carolina del Norte. Así tenemos que, de acuerdo al reporte presentado por Roger Marsh, en estos 10 estados combinados, durante septiembre del 2011 se acumularon 425 avistamientos de ovnis. Esto significa que cada día de septiembre del 2011 se reportaron 14 avistamientos de los no identificados.
Los reportes, las estadísticas y los videos de ovnis muestran claramente que la actividad de otras inteligencias está aumentando en los Estados Unidos, principalmente en el estado de California. El fenómeno extraterrestre ya no se puede ocultar, por lo que esta investigación continuará.
Okay, and again, the orbs are the ones responsible for it. So now, like I said, the orbs are doing something every day. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I really encourage y'all to use YouTube as a news source. Because as I was saying, there's sightings in one state, there's sightings in another state. There's not too many people putting together a global picture of this thing. And that really is for us to do, you know? And YouTube, we're in an amazing age. We're in an age where, you know, first time in history, can't take it for granted. Most people walk around with a camera, right? And those people have the ability to capture something right there when it happens and then share it with the world almost instantaneously. We gotta make the use of good things while they still are around. And that is something we should be utilizing. You know, that is one of the better things. I always have mixed feelings every time I get on the internet, you know, because I know they like overtly and covertly gathering data. It's all about gathering data. So, you know, they might just be passively wanting to know what websites you're going to, this, that, and other. But then on another level, it's like, oh, this is, yeah, we got to watch this man, you know. But either way, we gotta make the use of those things while they're still around, okay? Because the orbs are doing something every day. I alone can't keep up with it, okay? But I'm gonna show you some things from my talk. I'm gonna show you some amazing fleets, just to show you it ain't one or two of them, but that it truly is a multitude of them. This is in Mexico in June of this year. To show you that, you know, they not just here 3 or 4, they mob deep. It harkens to the prophecy of Enoch that was recounted in Jude, where he said, I'm going to come with thousands and thousands and myriads of my saints and holy ones to execute judgment. So these is thousands and thousands and myriads of these orbs present in our atmosphere. So this is one sighting from Mexico in June.
thousands of these things in the sky, just sitting here. There's a couple hundred of them. Little white orbs. I'm not sure if they're balloons, but there's hundreds of them. And there's a cluster of 3 doing the. Now there's one two.
He's in California.
These are not balloons.
I think this is in September.
These are not balloons, people. This is beautiful. Sighting over Carmichael, California. The time is, I don't know what the time is. It's 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. I noticed them when I was in my pool.
I want to say this was early
September.
September.
I could film this for hours. I'm soaking wet because I was in my pool when I first saw them. I saw them when I saw the helicopter. And if they are balloons, I don't know.
He's got 10 minutes of this footage.
They're extremely high up. I mean, how is it they're making formations? I don't understand these things are making formations. Seriously, they are rearranging. Oh, there they are. They're way over there. That was intentional. Because that's the way they go. Oh, crud, I lost them. No, they fly in that way and then they circle and land at the corner. I freaking lost them. Oh, there's one.
It's October. Very recent. This is actually the last, I ain't even really get to do no YouTube searching in November. Okay, this is why I'm encouraging y'all. Look at this. This is October over Mexico. Thousands and thousands and myriads of my saints and holy ones come to execute judgment.
¿Cuántos calculas que son, Bebo?
Yo no veo uno que se mueve.
No, hombre, cientos. Mira nomás. Ay, Dios. Y no están muy esparcidos, ¿verdad? Están acumuladitos en una sola área. Hay uno bien grande.
Yeah, I'm a frog. You see that one's not too clear.
No hay nubes.
You know that they up there. You see them now?
Ay, pues no pierden información, ¿verdad?
Alright, so this is a recent one. I think this is October also. And above New York. This had to be October, because like I said, I didn't really get to do no searching for November. But this will be the time. This is early December. This will be the time to catch the November post.
Wake up, Israel. You see what the Most High is sending to you people. Wake up, Israel. You see how the Most High love you people? I said to wake up, rise up. Wake up, Israel. You have to wake up. Wake up, Israel. Wake up, Israel. You have to wake up, Israel. Wake up. This has to be probably the 5th fleet that I summoned consecutively today. I'm telling you people.
think the significance of the dates is what they tend to do is they do send messages through the dates. Whereas if they do something on one day, right, they'll do something again the following day. The same day of the following year. So for example, the orb that came down to the Dome of the Rock, January 28, 2011, is very significant because that was 1 year exactly to the day that the mothership made its first grand appearance, January 28, 2010. And you know, I'm gonna share that with y'all. But
one other question.
Yes.
Is there a significance on the locations that they're showing the sightings? Like
there's absolute significance to the locations, you know. But the thing is that the locations is really now worldwide. The locations is worldwide. More than likely, there's fleets over Philadelphia at any given point of the day. But who is paying attention? Who's even? Most of us wears our heads focused. We walking around with our heads down, or we walk. Most of us is walking like this now. So we're not even, you know, our awareness isn't even there. Okay? They're using, and so we're talking about like what's their intentions, right? They also are using these sightings as a way to communicate with us and let us know how they're coming. Here's one where they spell out the names Allah and Muhammad in their formation. Significance of them spelling out the name Allah, Muhammad, as opposed to Yahweh and Jesus is what? Of the three great religions, well, I'm not going to say great, three world religions, Islam is the religion of what? Peace. Of peace. So they're telling us through that sighting, yeah, we're coming in peace. Okay? Now, I mentioned that they have really increased activity since the 40s when mankind started dabbling in nuclear power and nuclear weapons, right? And I feel like they're here to really dismantle that whole thing. An affirmation of that is right after Fukushima in Japan, where, you know, it was the tsunami and the earthquake, biggest release of nuclear radiation since Chernobyl. Shortly thereafter in Japan, a stargate opened up and a multitude of these orbs came through, and it was captured on tape. There was an active volcano in Japan, so they set up one of those webcams to just monitor the volcano. And in monitoring the volcano, they caught the Stargate opening up and the orbs coming through. This is what you're about to witness. You see the light brightening up? That's the Stargate. And if you pay attention, you're going to see orbs start shooting out on the side from there and start populating the sky. This is about a 10-minute event. We're not going to watch all 10 minutes of it, but just enough for y'all to capture that vision in your mind that this is what's going on. Okay, so yeah, they're going to run it again. Because, like, the person who set up this clip, they set it up in a way where you kind of can really tune in. So they've shown it a couple of times, a couple of formats. But this is its clearest format. So check it out. There's the Stargate starting where you see that light right there. And again, this is shortly after Fukushima. So this tells me a couple of things. One, these are interdimensional beings. These are beings that are able to move in and out of our space-time. So now, we got to go back here to 1974 to really understand these crop circles. 1974, Carl Sagan, scientist for NASA, they had this project, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. They said, we're going to build a radio telescope. We're going to send a binary code out into space. The first part of the code is going to be the key to deciphering the rest of the code. We're going to send a message about ourselves. So, this is how that binary code would look if you expressed it on paper, right? Where it shows our decimal system, how we calculate our mathematics, right? It shows the basic molecular structure of life on planet Earth. The 5 elements that make up organic life: hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and phosphorus. It has the formula for our DNA nucleotides, how these different elements come together to form life within us. It shows the number of DNA nucleotides we have and the number of DNA strands we have. 2. A double helix, right? It shows that we're humans. We average about, this is what we look like proportionally. We're about average about 5'9" in height. There's X number of billion on us, whatever billion number was in 1974, right? It shows we're the 3rd planet. We're on the 3rd planet of our solar system. And this message was sent by a radio telescope. So this was the original message Carl Sagan sent out to space in 1974. 2002, no, excuse me, 2001, we got a response in the form of a crop circle. This is the picture of the crop circle. Okay? We got a response. And this is what their response said. Okay, we use a decimal system just like y'all. We got the same elements y'all got except carbon. We don't have carbon in our bodies. We got silica. Okay? Y'all got 2 strands of DNA. We got 3. Our DNA nucleotides is formulated a little different. We are only about 3 feet 4 inches in height, and our head is a lot bigger in proportion to our body than y'all's. Right? We live on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th planets of our solar system. The 5th planet is probably our home planet. That's how we interpreting it. There's 21.3 billion of us, and we send our communication through orbs. That's an orb down. So again, this is the original. This is Sagan's. This is what they sent us, right? Then 1 year to the day. And that's why I say they do use the dates. 1 year to the day, these series of crop circles appeared in the same field. All right. So this first one. First crop circle ever of its kind, because the way it was set up, at first, when people first saw it early in the morning, right, it just looked like a bunch of circles, a bunch of like the crop had just been fashioned in these random circles. But then when the sun shined on it in a certain way, it made a pixelated image. So where do we encounter pixelated technology? Computers. And where I'm taking, so if I want to take a picture of my brethren, and I take that picture, it's going to be in a pixelated format. So the message in this crop circle is saying this is a picture of us. Okay? Then they sent this other message. Right? Alright, so now you saw the picture of themselves, it was humanoid. It looked like a human, kind of like a human head, human face. Here's a picture of obviously a reptilian or possibly insectoid being. I think it's supposed to be a reptilian being. Okay? And the reason why is because how it's depicted. Now remember, when they took a picture of themselves, they formatted in what? In pixels. They got this reptilian being in lines of what? Lines of what? Not binary code. When we're looking at TV, there's lines of what? Begins with an R. Resolution. Lines of resolution. Right? So this being, they're saying the message and the way they depicted this crop circle is saying this is the being, this is the entity who projects himself through your televisions and computers. So this harkens back to the science that, I mean, I know everybody in here saw They Live. I know it, right? Everybody saw They Live, right? What? All right. Is this your only copy, brethren? No. All right, good. Yo, y'all got to get this thing right here. John Carpenter dropped the science on these reptilian beings and their use of the television to control our thinking and control our perception. So on one level, it is just planting them seeds of thought, consume, obey, right? But then on another level, it's all about these reptilians finding a way that they can appear like mankind. I'm not even going to say appear like human. Appear like mankind to further manipulate and control us. All right, George Clinton dropped that science in the film Cosmic Slop. So if anybody saw that film, it's a vignette. It's 3 like short stories, but the first one, he deals with this science of how the reptilians use the technology to broadcast the image like they appear like they're human, right? But they're really not. Okay? So you got this image of them. And then what they did was they made another crop circle image of a disc, of a CD. So when you burn you know how they say you're going to burn your CD. You're not like burning grooves like, you know, when you think about the LP. The LP was a spiral of grooves that had etched in it the vibrations of the music. So when the needle, which is a little crystal, an oscillating crystal, would move over those grooves, the crystal would resonate and shake in resonant affinity with those grooves, reproduce the sound that was captured on those grooves. And that's how the LP worked. So when you're making a CD, it's a different technology. In binary code, like there's several manifestations of binary code, but the most simple is what they call the ASCII code. The ASCII code is basically the binary equivalent to the alphabet. So when you type the letter A, there's a binary expression of the letter A. On, off, off, you know. Meaning that, you know, binary code is bits, either on and off, organized in groups of 8. Alright? So now, when every 8 measures in this outer band, there's a half of what would be an on. So that was their way of saying, like, yeah, use binary code. Remember, when we sent our message up, we sent in the message the key to decipherment. So the outer band is the key to decipherment. Every 8 bits of information, there's a pattern. So that means organize everything else in bits of 8. So then they were like, oh, this is the ASCII code. Right? So once they figured that out, they then they just spelled what it said. And this is what the message said. Beware of the bearers of false gifts and their broken promises. Beware of them cats giving you all that technology. I'm talking about they're going to clean up the environment and make your life easier and make your life simpler. Much pain. Y'all going to have a lot of pain, but there's still, you know, y'all got to endure it a little more. It's still some time. Believe there's good out there. And remember when we heard Jaime Maussan, he said, this is the most important part of the message. We oppose deception. We oppose the deceivers. And the conduit is closing. I feel that means like their conduit, their channel of power, that thing is closing. Alright? So, again, we mentioned this. We're going to do a little comparing who's who. I'm not going to go in depth in this. If y'all want some in-depth reasoning on this, I'm going to be at Cummins next Saturday, December 17th, 5 o'clock. I'm going to go deep, and I can't go too deep, or we won't get up out of this joint tonight. All right? But I'm going to really go in on who's who of these star nations. But real quick, these brethren right here, these are our extraterrestrial ancestors. These are what the Kemites called the Anui, what the Dogon called the Nomo Titiani. Okay? These cats right here, we know them in our earliest forms. This is the one them called Lucifer, Satan, that fallen angel, the devil, the deceiver of the nations. We know them more current as the reptilians. Okay? They depicted themselves pixelated, like, yeah, there's a picture of us. We humanoid. They depicted the reptilians in lines of resolution, saying this is the technology they using to trick y'all. Their origins. Their origins is extraterrestrial. They from out in the heavens. These cats, the story tells us when Lucifer fought a battle in the heavens with who? Archangel Michael. That's what Anpu was building on Michael, because Michael is the celestial avenger. Michael is the one that the Most High said, yo, go jam them up. Them just violating omniversal law. Jam them up. And so when Michael fought that war in heavens and fought Lucifer, where did he cast Lucifer? Into the earth. Into the earth. So these reptilians, they're fronting, because there's a lot of misinformation, and this is what I can't go deep in now, right? Deciphering the misinformation from the real information. But they're trying to play it like they're from the heavens. They're not. They're from in the earth. Okay? And they need to manipulate humans into opening up the portals for them to come out. Aleister Crowley was the main one opening up portals for him prior to World War II. The Nazis opened up a lot for them in World War II. And sad to say, the people that call themselves our government opened up a lot more at the advent of the atomic age. So the detonating of those nuclear weapons, it opens up portals for these cats. Phenotype. Our extraterrestrial ancestors is humanoid. These cats is reptilian. Their intention benevolent. They come in peace. They told us. They're using their sightings to show their intention. An orb comes down right above the dome of the rock, which is the site of King Solomon's temple, fourth holiest site, of those three world religions, right? These cats, their intentions malevolent. Point of origin: galactic core, Pleiades and Sirius. These cats' origin, the inner earth. Now, originally, they may have been starborn, just as Lucifer at one time was an angel in the heavens. But they've been cast into the earth millions of years ago and are actually using us in an attempt to escape their judgment. Okay? And attempt. And the key to that overstanding is the Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch got all the clues. Enoch, the first prophet. That's why how is the first prophet not even really talked about in what they deal with today? Because he pre-Adam. That should tell you a lot right then and there. They just covered my man's thing up. Revelations is a perverted summary of Enoch. Because the judgment that is received, that they talk about in Revelations, how, and again, this is that emotional thing. How is it perverted? Because it's hard to read Revelations and maintain productive emotion. Because they say, not even the dog that pissed against the wall of Babylon shall escape the judgment. So we right here in Babylon. So if the dog that pissed against the wall is not going to escape the judgment, how are we supposed to? So it's hard to read Revelations without a shadow of fear. A shadow of fear creeping into your heart. But Enoch tells you straight up, like, yo, the judgment is for Azazel, which he called them reptilian beings, and them fallen angels. And it's a time of us rejoicing.
That's what I said.
You know?
You crazy.
So they've lost these cats. They've lost their ability to travel intergalactically. They're bound in the earth. They're using mankind. I can't even say they're manipulating us per se. They're manipulating human beings collectively, mankind specifically, to set the stage that they can escape. The first big recorded clip of the mothership, January 28, 2010, of city over China, and it shut the city down. When the ship
Is that the actual noise, brother? Sound?
You know, a lot of people reason on that. Like someone asking, like, are they shooting at it?
It sounds like it.
You know? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is. You know?
I told them they shoot at it. But they can't.
So that's one site. Here was the next big one. This one was in Colombia. Same crash. Pyramid now. When we opened, and I showed you the mothership connection, George Clinton, how did he depict the mothership? A pyramid with orbs floating around it, right? So here's the pyramid. We already seen the orbs. We're going to see them together. We're going to see them together. I just want to show you some other. So we've seen it in China. We've seen it in Colombia. Here is the mothership really has already landed. Here is the landing in Spain. All of this is since 2010. I got 14 clips. Now, I don't know if, since I've been really doing this raw search, I ain't seen no more pyramid UFOs on YouTube. I don't know if they shut it down. And even ones that I found, right? I found them, downloaded. It's like if you, I'm gonna tell you, find something hot on YouTube, download that joint. Because even ones I downloaded, I can't find them now. I can't find them. Particularly this, of the mothership. Now, let's see. We showed the one in Spain. Here's one. Decommissioning a nuclear power plant in China. Again, this is something I didn't really get into, but I have some footage that shows that the orb, really since what they call the Cold War, has been systematically dismantling nuclear weapons, nuclear power plants, nuclear storage facilities. And that this whole idea of disclosure, the U.S. government saying like, yeah, there are UFOs and, you know, That actually already happened. And they dropped it in that context. There's some beams decommissioning. We'll see how the time goes. I might show y'all that. It is really important. Alright, so that's the mothership over a nuclear power plant. Here is a clip of the mothership. Remember we said these is dimensional crafts. These is dimensional beings. Here's one of the mothership actually leaving our Earth plane.
昨天在北京机场呢，又出现了航班一些延误的情况。民众认为这个晚点呢，不觉得正常。他们有人传出了一些说法，说你看看这个照片，是不是就这么刚巧？内蒙古出现了不明飞行物体，北京军区出动了战机拦截，导致了在昨天机场出现了航班延误吗？
网友这么猜的啊，但是以我从小很喜欢这个飞碟，这个 UFO 什么啊。 这个感觉呢，我觉得是应该是假的。为啥？因为我从小我看书那个 UFO 啊，它是那个闪光的啊，它是闪烁的，而且你看这个拍的，你看这拍的隐隐绰绰、模糊不清，就到这么多年，你发现人都在传 UFO、传飞碟，就没有一张拍的非常清晰啊。
这张看起来还不清晰吗？你看起来觉得像不像？人家说像是金字塔型的。刚才这个马先你说你小时候看，你觉得它一样闪光，我觉得很有趣的说法，说不定从你小时候到现在，
我都听得清了。
对，而且外星人他也会改造，就是说他的这个 UFO 不会变形啊。
对。
但是当然这样子的这个影片常常看到，所以大家就说这怎么会是真的呢？求真相嘛这个首都机场当然出来辟谣了，说没有，是我们在管制西部航线的流量。
Alright, so now here's some with the oh no, let me show you one where we could compare. We got something where we could kind of say, well, how big is that thing? My guesstimate is about 7 stories. Here's a clip of it next to some high rises. And so you can look at the mothership, count the number of stories on the high rise that it is, and get a guesstimate of how big it is. So my guesstimate is about 7 stories. So it's a large building. Now, I had another brother, like, you know, when I did this presentation, the brother reasoned with me. He said that these even aren't the motherships. That there is a ship that's even bigger than these, that if that ship was to come into our atmosphere, that it would just mash things up. So it doesn't do that. I'm open to that reality, you know. I am open to that reality. But one reason why I kind of resonate with these being the mothership, number one, the fact that it is a pyramid. And when we just talk about divine geometrics, the pyramid would be an ideal shape for interdimensional movements. You got that 4, which, as Ampu talked about, is about a door or materializing, and with that 5th point, you know, like the 4 merging into 1. I just see, I don't know, I don't even know if I'm articulating it in a way that y'all can get what I'm visualizing, you know, what I see in my mind's eye when I think of pyramids, but I just see it as an ideal geometric form for this interdimensional blue flute, you know. And they roll with the opposite. So here's a couple of clips with the Ophon. I think this was in England. Here is this is my favorite. It happens quick. Now watch this. like he just dropped them, and then whoop.
I seen that before in the sky, yo. I seen that before.
We gonna run that again.
And I got a witness too.
It's like he drops them. And see, that's what I'm saying. My feeling is these orbs, I don't think they're ships.
Oh, wow.
I think they're us. If what was our melanin was silica, and our heart could electrify our being, we could move like how them orbs move. That's my feeling on who and what they are. Let me see if I got any other worth checking. I'm gonna show you this clip where this disclosure, what they call disclosure, really went down. Because a lot of folk are like, okay, when's Obama going to come up and have a session in the Oval Office, you know, to the whole nation announcing this thing? It ain't go down like that. But disclosures already happened. It happened in the National Press Club. Retired Army, Air Force officials got together and dropped the tapes. And the mystic thing about it is, this clip is no longer available in CNN's archives.
It is Friday, August 12th, 2011, and this is W7.
This happened in August.
And this video is on disclosure. You heard me right, disclosure. At the National Press Club, and it was aired live on CNN. For all of you that missed it, they didn't break in and tell the whole country, and the president didn't come out and say it, but this is as close to disclosure as you're going to get at this point. You need to pass this along to as many people as you can. Mind you, I have searched high and low to get this information. I watched this original clip. I've seen it. It was choppy. It's just kind of choppy the way it plays. The audio is excellent, but the video skips out a little bit. I could not find another clip of this anywhere. It's not on the CNN website. Nobody else seems to have it. One other place I found it, it was removed. And this one has sat where it's at, and I'm going to go ahead and shoot this and get it so we got it in case anything does happen. But here we go.
Declassified U.S. government documents and witness testimony from former or retired U.S. military personnel confirm beyond any doubt the reality of ongoing UFO incursions at nuclear weapons sites. When I say UFO, the witnesses have described these craft as disc-shaped, or cylindrical-shaped, or spherical. These objects are capable of both hovering and high-velocity flight, usually completely silently. Over the past 37 years, I have personally located and interviewed more than 120 of these former or retired military personnel, all of whom report UFO incidents at one or more of the following locations: nuclear missile sites, nuclear weapons storage areas, and nuclear weapons test sites in Nevada and the Pacific during the era of atomic atmospheric testing. Sometime in the evening hours on March 24th, I received a call from one of my topside guards, the flight security controller, stating that they had been observing strange lights in the sky making odd maneuvers and wanted to report it. I thought it was kind of a strange report, but I took it seriously. You have to understand we were protecting nuclear weapons, and all the reports we generally got were very professional. At any rate, I kind of dismissed the call. He called back about 5 minutes later This time he was screaming into the phone saying they're looking at an object, a red glowing object just above our front gate. Right above us, there's a huge white thing, pulsating light above us. And I had to call them to make sure I wasn't seeing anything. Upon prodding, he told us it was shaped like a fat cigar. I think he said a pregnant cigar. White pulsating light. Between the pulsations, he saw red and blue lights. It was silent because I prodded him saying, is it something for a helicopter? He said, no, it's very silent. We're talking to him for several minutes, and he says it's starting to move away along our access route. I believe, these gentlemen believe, that this planet is being visited by beings from another world who, for whatever reason, have taken an interest in the nuclear arms race which began at the end of World War II. Regarding the missile shutdown incidents, their opinion is that whoever are aboard these craft are sending a signal to both Washington and Moscow, among others, that we are playing with fire, that the possession and threatened use of nuclear weapons potentially threatens the human race and the integrity of the planetary environment.
So there you have it. It's the first time I've ever seen on CNN professionals coming out.
So now I shared that because you remember when I started, what I say is what was my intention for sharing this information with y'all today?
Break the fear and empower.
Break the fear. Productive emotions. Productive emotions. Productive emotions. When I tell you that there is nothing to fear, everything to rejoice, yeah. Bobby Rome is a paper tiger. Them look all, they don't even have their nuclear weapons no more. And even if they were going to try to jump it off, they can't jump it off. The Star Nations is here. They can't jump it off. Now, so when I share this, a really valid question. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do with this? Okay, they here, so what? My interpretation of what they've been doing, right? First thing they do, they want us to be aware of them and acknowledge their presence. Just like if one of your relatives came in your city, a distant relative come in your city, what's the first thing you got to do? You got to acknowledge their presence, right? Then the next thing you got to do is you got to open yourself up to communicate with that person, right? You got to put aside, right? Their mom was your auntie and she done vexed you, so you don't want to talk to them. But now you got to put whatever unproductive emotions you got to put that aside and put yourself in a position to communicate with that elder or that distant family member, right? Then hopefully, after y'all communicate, you're gonna work collectively to solve your common problems. Are y'all with me? Yes. So that's what we're supposed to do with the Star Nations. The first thing we got to do is stop walking with our head down, or stop walking with the dull phone up on us, right? We got to, and what Earth, Wind, and Fire, what they tell us we got to do?
Keep your head to the sky.
Keep your head to the sky.
Because the sky won't tell you no lie.
Okay, we got to keep our head to the sky. And acknowledge their presence, acknowledge they're here. Then open yourself up for communion, communication. I can tell you from my personal experience, I had a dream. They came to me in a dream. And how I know that it wasn't just a dream with them in it is because when I woke up, for 2 days I couldn't do nothing but download this information that they had given me. And it is some of the most empowering and powerful information I have received like ever. And give thanks to Brother Ampu, who has really helped me cipher and organize it. We're only going to share this information one more time publicly. December 30th at Pearl of Africa, Mystic, Philadelphia. Because, yeah, the information they shared was about this place we at right here, right now. And I'm here to tell you, everything that Babylon does, this past dispensation, these past 200 years, they've been able to do it because of the energy and the power in the city that they call Philadelphia, because they tap in it. That's how important this place is. So we're going to drop this science one more time and we're going in production mode. But I'm just sharing that as an example, a personal example. Because I'm no different than none of y'all. And so if you open yourself up to their presence and acknowledge their presence, they are going to communicate empowering information to you so that we can coordinate our efforts. That's what the Star Nations is all about. And so if we do that, what are we going to witness? This is what we're going to witness. And I'm closing out with this. Oh, no, not that.
I should have known you'd pull some shit like...
Excuse me, you.
Sunny Ray. Come on, what is this? What about it?
This is the end game.
You think you're ready for me?
As presented
Are
by
you ready to dog to your
Sun
destiny?
in Space is the
Well,
place.
let's not overdo it. Name the game. Raps. Coon Can. Fizz. 7-Up. I said end of the world. That's what I call cooking with grease. You think you can handle it? Okay, you name the game, my cut. Looks like we need a little transportation. Nice. Your pull.
Judgment. So now, for those, and Sun Ra was a Philip. Well, he wasn't born here, but he claimed Philadelphia as his home, right in Germany. Sun Ra's philosophy, he didn't have a band. He had an art instruct. An art instruct. Meaning, he said the way you travel through space is coming together, forming a space wave, a common frequency to travel through space with. And that's the science of the macabre and the alchemy. Just like George Clinton, Palmer Funkadelic, what we thought was far out entertainment in the 70s and 80s has shown to be prophecy in 2011.
White girl, huh?
This is Jimmy Page, Channel 5 Stone Jive, the all-black station for all black people with all the news that grooves at noon, live from Oakland, California. As you are probably aware, several local mystics have predicted a landing from space this afternoon here at this spot opposite the Sector 5 government building in the presence of a black musician and thinker named Sun Ra.
I haven't seen him yet. He should be here any time now.
He's reported to have disappeared while traveling in Europe in June 1969. He's reputed to have been traveling in outer space all this time with his intergalactic mid-signed solar orchestra. And upon landing here will reveal to the world his so-called plan for the salvation of the black race.
Where the hell is he?
It is now a couple of minutes past the time when Mr. Ra is scheduled to appear, so apparently he's not quite as efficient as our own NASA program people. Son of a bitch! Ain't that just like him? 2 minutes late.
Hey, there he is!
This is incredible. I can't believe it. It's really happening. This really happened. Our ship has landed. Our ship has landed. All units are being dispatched to the area, and we should have reports momentarily. This is Jimmy Page, Channel 5 Stone Jive, saying, "Follow me! Follow me!"
Any day. And that's where the galactic activation comes in. We getting on the same mental frequency at the appointed time, having the proper joy, happiness, excitement, gratitude, love in our heart. And we're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen.
music is all a part of another tomorrow.
Another tomorrow.
Another kind of language. Speaking things of nature, naturalness, the way it should be. Speaking things of blackness, about the void, the endless void, the bottomless pit surrounding you.
A better day is breaking. The galaxies are waiting. The planet Earth is waiting. Oh, we sing this song too. A great tomorrow.
Singing this song for a great tomorrow.
Oh, we sing this song too.
Singing this song to abolish sorrow.
Oh, we sing this song too. A great tomorrow. Oh, we sing this song too. Abolish sorrow.
Why doesn't the earth fall? How can you walk upon it? It's the music. It's the music of the earth, the music of the sun and the stars, the music of yourself, vibrating. Yes, your music too. You're all instruments. Everyone's supposed to be playing their part in this vast orchestra of the cosmos.
A great tomorrow.
Yeah, so on that note, I leave you. I hope y'all found this information encouraging and empowering.